The glass tower of Halcyon Enterprises gleamed brilliantly under the early morning sun, its mirrored windows reflecting the bustling city below like a vast, polished jewel. The towering structure seemed to pierce the sky itself, a testament to human ambition and technological advancement. Inside, the air buzzed softly with the hum of countless computers and the steady rhythm of footsteps echoing against the polished marble floors. The scent of ozone mingled subtly with the faint aroma of lemon-scented cleaning products, a reminder of the building's meticulous upkeep. It was the kind of place where ambition walked hand in hand with innovation, and where every corner whispered promises of progress and opportunity. Maya Collins adjusted the strap of her worn leather tote bag, its edges softened from years of use, and took a deep breath, filling her lungs with the mixed scents of fresh coffee brewing nearby and the faint, warm aroma of polished wood paneling. Today was her first day as an intern in the marketing department, a coveted position at one of the city's most prestigious firms. The air carried a faint buzz of excitement and tension, and her heart pounded with a mixture of anticipation and nerves. She could feel the electricity of possibility in the atmosphere, sharp and invigorating. Her eyes scanned the sleek reception area, taking in the minimalist decor, the cool gray marble floors, the brushed steel accents, and the impressive abstract art installations that adorn the walls. A massive sculpture, twisting and shimmering with metallic hues, caught the sunlight streaming through the tall windows, casting intricate patterns on the floor. The receptionist, poised and impeccably dressed, smiled politely but said nothing as Maya approached. She could feel the weight of expectation pressing down on her shoulders, an invisible but palpable force, but she pushed it aside with a determined sigh. This was her chance to prove herself, to step out of the shadows of anonymity and into a world where she could make a mark. As she waited for the elevator, Maya's gaze landed on a framed photograph of the company's CEO, a man whose sharp gaze seemed to pierce through glass and steel alike. His expression was calm but commanding, a silent promise of vision and power. She knew little about him, only that he was a visionary who preferred to keep a low profile, rarely seen in public forums. Little did anyone know, Maya's connection to him was far closer than anyone could imagine, a secret tether that linked their worlds in ways no one suspected. The elevator dinged softly, its doors sliding open with a whisper. She stepped inside, the mirrored walls reflecting her determined expression back at her from every angle. The cool metal of the handrail beneath her fingers grounded her as the cabin began its smooth ascent. Today marked the start of a journey where hidden truths would unravel, and the very foundation of her new life would be tested. The door slid shut behind her with a soft, final click, sealing her in with the promise of challenge and change that awaited just beyond the glass walls of Halcyon Enterprises. Maya's mornings unfolded in a well-rehearsed whirlwind of careful routine and quiet rituals. She rose before dawn in her modest apartment, nestled in a quiet, tree-lined neighborhood where the air smelled faintly of rain-soaked pavement and blooming jasmine. The gentle patter of early morning drizzle tapped rhythmically against the windowpane as she pulled back the curtains to greet the day. Her life was a delicate balance between the relentless demands of her internship and the closely guarded secret she bore. Her marriage to David Harper, the enigmatic CEO of Halcyon Enterprises. Their relationship was a well-kept secret, woven from years of friendship, mutual respect, and a love that transcended the glare of public scrutiny. David was a man of few words, his presence commanding without arrogance, his sharp mind always several steps ahead. Together, they shared a world hidden from the outside, an intimate sanctuary where Maya could be herself, away from the unforgiving glare of corporate politics and the judgmental eyes of the world. Each morning, after a quick breakfast of lightly toasted bread and a steaming cup of jasmine tea, Maya spread out her notes for the day on the cluttered kitchen table. Marketing plans, industry reports, and brainstorming sketches lay scattered around her laptop, a testament to her dedication and passion. Despite the long hours and mounting pressure, she found herself drawn to the challenge, fueled by a quiet determination to carve out her own identity beyond the shadow of her husband. At the office, she navigated the labyrinth of cubicles and glass-walled conference rooms with cautious optimism. The soft hum of printers and the muted chatter of colleagues filled the air, punctuated by the occasional ring of a phone. Her co-workers were polite but distant, their conversations laced with corporate jargon that sometimes left her feeling dizzy and disoriented. Still, Maya remained undeterred, eager to absorb every detail and prove her worth. Beneath the surface, however, tension simmered like a slow-burning fire. Her immediate supervisor, Mark Reynolds, was a man known for his strict demeanor and unyielding standards. His reputation for making life difficult for newcomers was the subject of whispered office gossip and hushed warnings. Maya sensed that her journey would not be without obstacles and braced herself for the trials that lay ahead, steeling her resolve against the cold winds of corporate politics. Mark Reynolds wasted no time making his presence felt like a storm cloud gathering on a clear day. On her second day, Maya was assigned a tedious and seemingly endless task, compiling sprawling spreadsheets of client data, a job far beneath her capabilities and ambitions. His sharp eyes followed her every move like a hawk, his tone clipped and dismissive whenever she dared to ask for clarification. "Pay attention, Collins," he snapped during a tense team meeting, his voice slicing through the room like a whip. "This isn't a charity. We expect results, not excuses." The tension in the room was palpable, thickening the air like a suffocating fog. Her colleagues avoided eye contact, their silence a tacit agreement with Mark's harsh reprimand. Maya felt a flush of embarrassment creeping up her neck but refused to let it show. She knew that success here would require more than just hard work. It demanded resilience, patience, and an unshakable spirit. During lunch, she sat alone at a small round table in the company cafeteria, the hum of conversation swirling around her like a distant storm. The metallic taste of the plastic fork scraping against her salad bowl was a harsh contrast to the warm, comforting meals she shared with David at home. Her phone buzzed softly, and she glanced down to see a message from him. "You keep your head up. You're stronger than you think." The words were a lifeline, a small beacon of hope in the brewing storm. Yet, as the weeks passed, Mark's criticisms grew sharper and more personal. He questioned her every move, often assigning impossible deadlines and dismissing her ideas with a sneer. Maya began to wonder if her secret connection to the CEO would ever shield her from this relentless scrutiny, or if it would remain buried forever, a fragile secret at the heart of a ruthless corporate battlefield. One gray afternoon, as rain pattered steadily against the office windows, Maya found herself staring at an old leather-bound notebook she had brought from home. It was a gift from David, filled with sketches, inspiring quotes, and little reminders of their shared dreams. The worn pages had become her anchor, a symbol of hope amidst the growing challenges, its texture smooth beneath her fingers as she traced the faded ink. The catalyst arrived unexpectedly, like a sudden crack of thunder in a quiet sky. During a high-stakes presentation, Mark publicly reprimanded Maya for a minor error, his voice echoing sharply through the sleek conference room lined with floor-to-ceiling glass. The humiliation was immediate and cutting, causing a ripple of uncomfortable silence among the assembled executives, their eyes flickering between Maya and Mark. Maya's cheeks burned with shame, but beneath the surface a fierce fire ignited. She realized that enduring this treatment silently was no longer an option. That evening, as the city lights flickered and glittered outside her apartment window like distant stars, she confided in David. The soft glow of the lamp cast warm shadows across the room, mingling with the faint scent of lavender from a nearby candle. His response was calm but resolute. "You don't have to face this alone, but we need to be careful. If Mark finds out who you really are, things could get complicated." The revelation hung heavy in the air between them. Maya's hidden marriage to the CEO was a secret shield, but it was also a potential powder keg waiting to explode. The thought of confrontation was daunting, yet the injustice she faced demanded action. The next morning, Maya returned to the office with renewed determination burning in her chest. She approached her work with laser-like precision, documenting every interaction with Mark, every unreasonable demand and dismissive comment. The leather-bound notebook nestled in her bag was no longer just a symbol. It was a vital tool, a record of her journey, and a testament to her resilience under fire. As the days unfolded, the tension between Maya and Mark escalated steadily, setting the stage for a confrontation that would challenge not only her career but the very fabric of her hidden life. The glass walls of Halcyon Enterprises seemed to close in around her, cold and unyielding, reflecting the battle that was about to break free from the shadows. Maya's resolve hardened into decisive action. Each morning, she meticulously organized her work, ensuring that every task assigned by Mark was completed with flawless precision and timeliness. She kept a detailed journal in her leather-bound notebook, noting each instance of Mark's unreasonable behavior, the impossible deadlines, the dismissive remarks, and the subtle yet deliberate undermining of her ideas. Simultaneously, she began reaching out to sympathetic colleagues, quietly building a network of support. During coffee breaks and casual conversations by the water cooler, she listened carefully, sharing just enough to gauge who might stand with her. The office was a complex web of alliances and rivalries, and Maya knew she had to navigate it with care and subtlety. Her evenings were spent strategizing with David, who offered insights into the political landscape of Halcyon Enterprises. "Mark is a gatekeeper," he explained one night, his voice low and serious over dinner. "He controls the flow of information and influence. To get past him, you'll need more than evidence. You'll need leverage, allies, timing, and patience." Encouraged by his guidance, Maya scheduled a discreet meeting with the HR manager under the pretense of seeking mentorship. She presented her documented experiences with professionalism, emphasizing her desire to contribute positively rather than merely complain. The HR manager listened attentively, nodding slowly and promising to observe the situation discreetly. Meanwhile, Maya's performance began to attract subtle attention. Her reports were thorough, her presentations clear and confident, and though Mark's hostility persisted, cracks began to show in his facade as others started to notice Maya's competence and dedication. The leather-bound notebook remained close at hand, its pages filled with notes, reflections, and a growing sense of empowerment. Each entry was a reminder that Maya was not alone, that her hidden connection to the CEO was a quiet strength she could draw upon when the time was right. Despite her relentless efforts, obstacles mounted like an encroaching storm. Mark's antagonism intensified, crossing the line into what felt like sabotage. He reassigned her to menial tasks with a pointed coldness, excluded her from key meetings, and whispered doubts about her loyalty during private conversations with team members. The once neutral office atmosphere grew colder, the faint whispers now sharp and pointed daggers. Maya felt the crushing weight of isolation pressing down on her like a physical force. The cafeteria's usual hum of conversation blurred into a background drone, and the rich scent of freshly brewed coffee became a bittersweet reminder of days spent alone. Even her network of allies seemed hesitant, their support cautious and tentative in the face of Mark's deep-rooted influence. One tense afternoon, as Maya prepared feverishly for a critical project deadline, she discovered that files she had painstakingly compiled were missing from her workstation. Panic surged in her chest, but she forced herself to control her breath, recalling David's calm advice to remain methodical and calm. She reported the incident to HR, but the response was lukewarm, the investigation slow and evasive. Mark denied any involvement, his calm demeanor masking something far more sinister beneath the surface. The tension in the office coiled tighter, threatening to snap at any moment. At home, Maya confided in David, her voice tinged with frustration and fear as she paced the small living room. "I'm starting to wonder if this is more than just professional rivalry. It feels personal, like he's trying to break me." David's gaze was steady and unwavering. "It might be, but that means we have to be even smarter. This isn't just about you anymore, it's about the company and what it stands for. We'll face it together." The leather-bound notebook, once a source of comfort, now served as a strategic map. Maya filled its pages with observations, plans, and reflections, preparing herself for the battles yet to come. The stakes were higher than she had imagined, and the path forward was uncertain and treacherous. Amid the mounting pressure and shadowed struggles, a surprising alliance emerged like the first rays of dawn breaking through storm clouds. Rachel, a senior marketing analyst known for her sharp wit and keen insight, approached Maya during a late afternoon break. The office was nearly empty, bathed in the soft glow of fading daylight, with only the distant hum of air conditioning filling the spacious room. "I've noticed how Mark treats you," Rachel said quietly, her eyes steady and sincere as she leaned slightly against the counter. "It's not right, and it's not professional." Maya blinked, caught off guard by the unexpected kindness. "Why are you telling me this?" she asked cautiously, her voice barely above a whisper. Rachel shrugged, a small, knowing smile tugging at the corners of her lips. "Because I've been there. He's tough on all of us, but you've got something he can't break: integrity. And I think you're worth standing up for." Over the next few days, Rachel became a discreet yet steadfast ally. She shared insights into the company's inner workings, advised Maya on navigating office politics, and even helped her prepare for meetings where Mark's looming influence cast a long shadow. Their bond grew through whispered conversations over coffee and shared glances in crowded rooms, moments of quiet solidarity amid the corporate chaos. Maya felt a flicker of hope, a warm reminder that even in the coldest environments, genuine warmth and support could be found. David noticed the change when Maya returned home each evening, her voice tinged with cautious optimism and newfound strength. "Good allies make all the difference," he said, squeezing her hand gently. "You're not in this fight alone." The leather-bound notebook now included notes from Rachel, strategies for collaboration, and a growing sense of community. Each page was a testament to Maya's resilience and the power of connection in the face of adversity. The relentless challenges at work forced Maya to confront her own limits, fears, and hidden reserves of strength. One morning, after a particularly grueling confrontation with Mark that left her shaken, she stood before the tall mirror in the office restroom, studying her reflection with a critical eye. The eyes staring back were weary but unyielding, framed by strands of hair that had escaped her carefully arranged bun. She remembered David's words echoing in her mind: "Strength isn't about never falling, it's about rising every time you do." Drawing a deep, steadying breath, Maya resolved to reclaim her confidence and assert her voice. She enrolled in a public speaking workshop offered by the company, determined to sharpen her presentation skills and command the room with poise. The sessions were intense and pushed her beyond her comfort zone, but each step built her courage and self-assurance. At work, she volunteered to lead a small project, showcasing her ability to manage tasks and coordinate a team effectively. Gradually, her colleagues began to see her not just as an intern, but as a capable professional with valuable insights. Even Mark's sneers lost some of their sting as her reputation grew. The leather-bound notebook became a diary of transformation. Maya documented her progress, setbacks, and the moments of clarity that fueled her growth. She learned to balance vulnerability with strength, embracing the full complexity of her journey. At home, David supported her unwaveringly, sharing stories of his own struggles as CEO and reminding her that leadership was as much about heart as it was about strategy. Their hidden marriage was a source of grounding, a quiet refuge from the storm that raged both within and without. Tensions reached a boiling point during a critical company event that would test Maya's resolve like never before. Halcyon Enterprises was unveiling a groundbreaking new marketing campaign, and Maya was slated to present the final report to an assembly of high-ranking executives. The grand conference hall buzzed with anticipation, the scent of fresh flowers mingling subtly with the sharp tang of polished metal and the faint aroma of expensive cologne. Mark, sensing an opportunity to undermine her, assigned a last-minute, daunting task that threatened to derail her carefully prepared presentation. The pressure was immense, the room filled with executives whose expectations weighed heavily on her shoulders. Maya's heart raced, her palms slick with nervous sweat as she juggled the demands, her hands trembling slightly while she adjusted her notes. The leather-bound notebook, tucked securely in her bag, felt like a lifeline, its worn pages a tangible reminder of her journey and strength. Just moments before she stepped onto the stage, a ripple of whispers spread through the room. Mark had accused her of incompetence, calling into question the validity of her findings. The murmurs grew louder, casting a shadow over her moment of triumph. But Maya stood firm. Drawing on the growth she had nurtured and the support she had cultivated, she delivered her presentation with clarity, passion, and unwavering confidence. Her voice echoed through the hall, cutting through doubt and skepticism like a beacon of truth. As she spoke, she caught sight of David seated in the front row, his presence a silent affirmation. The hidden husband, the CEO, was there, not just as a figurehead but as a pillar of strength and belief. The campaign was met with thunderous applause and unanimous approval, a resounding success. Yet beneath the celebration, the conflict with Mark simmered, unresolved and poised for its inevitable confrontation. The aftermath of the event was a whirlwind of change and consequence. Mark's attempts to discredit Maya backfired spectacularly, his superiors questioning his conduct and the validity of his harsh criticisms. The office atmosphere shifted palpably, whispers of transformation rippling through the halls like an undercurrent of hope. Maya found herself at the center of attention, both admired for her resilience and scrutinized under the bright corporate spotlight. Invitations to collaborate poured in, and her confidence soared to new heights. Yet, the tension with Mark remained a dark cloud hanging overhead, his resentment palpable in the cold glances and curt exchanges. David, ever the strategist, advised caution in hushed conversations over late-night calls. "This is only the beginning," he warned. "Power plays like these don't end overnight. Stay vigilant and keep your allies close." Maya's leather-bound notebook grew heavier with new entries, carefully crafted plans for navigating the shifting political landscape, reflections on her evolving role, and the delicate balance she maintained between secrecy and revelation. One stormy evening, as rain lashed against the office windows and thunder rumbled in the distance, Maya received an anonymous note slipped silently under her office door. It contained a single cryptic line, "Beware the hay bale." Confused and intrigued, she flipped through her notebook, recalling a cryptic reference to a hay bale from an old company retreat. It was a symbol tied to an abandoned barn on the company's sprawling grounds, a place whispered about in office lore and shrouded in mystery. The note hinted at deeper layers of conflict and concealed secrets within Halcyon Enterprises, setting the stage for revelations that would challenge everything Maya thought she knew about her life, her husband, and the company itself. Determined to uncover the meaning behind the mysterious note, Maya enlisted Rachel's help. Together, they planned a discreet investigation into the abandoned barn referenced by the hay bale. The office was closing for the weekend, providing the perfect cover for their covert exploration. The barn was located on the outskirts of the company's sprawling manicured campus, surrounded by overgrown fields where wildflowers struggled through tangled grass. The air was thick with the earthy scent of damp soil and decay, mingled with the faint, sweet aroma of dried hay. As they approached, the wooden structure creaked and groaned in the gentle breeze, its weathered boards telling silent stories of neglect and forgotten secrets. Inside, the air hung heavy with dust motes dancing in the fading light filtering through cracks in the walls. Stacks of golden hay bales lined one corner, their rough strands catching the last rays of the setting sun. Among them, Maya spotted a small weathered box, partially hidden beneath a loose bale, its edges chipped and worn. Her heart quickened with a mix of fear and excitement as she pried it open, revealing a collection of old letters, company memos yellowed with age, and a faded photograph of a younger David alongside a woman Maya did not recognize. The discovery hinted at a hidden past, a chapter of corporate intrigue and personal history intertwined with the company's origins and David's early days. The leather-bound notebook was out immediately, its pages soon filled with notes, questions, and sketches. The weight of the secret pressed heavily on Maya's shoulders, promising revelations that could reshape her understanding of both her husband and Halcyon Enterprises. As they left the barn, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long, ominous shadows across the fields. The investigation was just beginning, and the stakes were higher than ever. Armed with the newfound evidence, Maya sought a private meeting with David. The penthouse office was a stark contrast to the rustic barn, bathed in soft ambient light from sleek lamps, the faint aroma of jasmine wafting from a vase of fresh flowers on the polished wooden desk. David listened intently as Maya laid out the contents of the box, his expression unreadable, a mixture of nostalgia and regret flickering across his features. The letters revealed a chapter of his life he had kept hidden, a youthful romance fraught with passion, corporate intrigue, and a betrayal that had shaped his path to leadership. The conversation was tense, emotions flickering just beneath the surface like restless flames. Maya confronted him about the secrecy, the weight of carrying such a burden alone, and the impact it had on their relationship. David's voice was steady but filled with remorse. "I wanted to protect you, and the company. Some truths are dangerous, and I feared what would happen if they came to light." Their dialogue was abruptly interrupted by a sudden knock. Mark entered unannounced, his demeanor defiant and confrontational. The power dynamics shifted palpably as accusations flew, Mark challenging David's decisions, Maya standing firm against his hostility and undermining tactics. The confrontation was intense, voices rising and falling like a storm, secrets and grievances exposed. The hay bale and the letters became potent symbols of the hidden struggles within Halcyon Enterprises, forcing each character to confront their past and the choices that had brought them here. In the end, it was Maya's courage and clarity that diffused the tension. She demanded accountability and transparency, setting a new tone for the company's future, one built on honesty and mutual respect. The fallout from the confrontation led to significant changes within Halcyon Enterprises. Mark was reassigned to a role with less influence, his behavior scrutinized and addressed by the company's leadership. New policies promoting transparency, respect, and ethical conduct were initiated, gradually shifting the corporate culture toward openness and collaboration. Maya's role expanded significantly, her talent and integrity recognized openly by colleagues and superiors alike. She continued to work closely with David, their partnership no longer hidden, but celebrated as a testament to trust, resilience, and collaboration. The leather-bound notebook, once a private refuge filled with personal reflections and strategies, became a powerful symbol of resilience and transformation. Maya filled its pages with lessons learned, milestones reached, and hopes for a future built on honesty. The hay bale, once a cryptic clue shrouded in mystery, now represented the uncovering of buried truths and the courage to face them head-on. It appeared in company newsletters as a metaphor for growth and renewal, a reminder of the challenges overcome and the strength forged through adversity. Maya and David's relationship flourished, strengthened by the shared trials and the breaking down of barriers. Their story became an inspiration within the company, a narrative of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of trust. Months later, Halcyon Enterprises stood transformed. The gleaming glass tower reflected not just the city's skyline, but the light of a new era, one defined by openness, respect, and innovation. The atmosphere inside buzzed with renewed energy, the scent of fresh coffee and polished wood carrying the promise of possibility rather than anxiety. Maya, now a full-time marketing strategist, walked the halls with newfound confidence and grace. Her footsteps echoed softly against the marble floors, a steady rhythm that matched her steady heartbeat. The familiar surroundings, once intimidating, now felt like home. David joined her for lunch in the bustling company cafe, the aroma of roasted coffee beans and baked pastries filling the air around them. Their smiles were genuine and unguarded, the secret of their marriage no longer a burden but a bridge, connecting personal and professional worlds in harmony. The leather-bound notebook rested on Maya's desk, its pages a rich chronicle of growth, courage, and transformation. Nearby, a small handcrafted hay bale sculpture, a thoughtful gift from colleagues, stood proudly as a symbol of the remarkable journey they had shared. As they looked out over the panoramic cityscape, the future stretched before them, uncertain yet bright. Together they faced it with hope, resilience, and an unshakable bond, ready to write the next chapter of their lives and of Halcyon Enterprises.